Hit the road, Jack, and don't you come back no more, no more, no more, no more. Okay, that's the wrong Jack. But anyway, I saw Jack. It's from India. Do you want to see who this Jack is? Let's find out. Chase Lehocky reviewing Jack. Is he a jack of all trades? Is he Jack in the Beanstalk? Is he Jack raw agent from India? What's about pretty simple premise? You have Jack. That's not his real name. His real name is based off a Chilean poet who has a bunch of different ideas. Because as a kid, he had so many different hobbies that he wanted to accomplish. But every coach, 24 of them, is like, I can't coach this kid. He will not listen and not pay attention to me. He's just all over the place, kind of like ADHD. But now he realizes, wait a minute, I think I want to be a raw agent and protect my country. He goes to the interview. It seems like the interview did pretty good, but he just can't wait. He cannot wait for the yes, no, or the training. He's going to figure out this mission by himself. But doing this, does he hurt other raw agents? Is he hurting the country? And will he actually succeed in his mission? So, did I like Jack? I thought it was pretty good. I thought there was good story elements to this film about, different things I've never seen before about, torture and how people can tell things or not. And there's a different side story about the dad wanting to know what his son's actually doing. And there is some shocking death in this movie, but as well as like an ending where it was just too perfect that I kind of was left out of the movie because everything up to that movie, it was kind of like good stuff happening, bad stuff happening, good stuff happening, bad stuff happening, that you could kind of correlate with his decisions of what is going to occur in the movie. But the last train sequence, I want to say took me out of the movie, but I was just like, it was just way too perfect for everything that was going to happen in this movie. So when we talk about the positives, like I said, I think the main actor does a pretty good job playing this, I'm going to call it smart aleck, but a guy that wants to succeed and do good for his country of India does a good job. The girl spying on him, she does a fun job. The raw agent's pretty good job. The story, I do like the terrorist aspect of it, of there's a terrorist cell that wants to attack 4 cities at once and kind of just throw India into a hellhole. And I think that's a smart ploy for a plot because it's not like it's a one singular location. It's having to figure out where all 4 of these spots are and what all the terrorists are trying to do and their actual motivations. Is it realistic that he's always one step ahead of every single raw agent? Absolutely not. And there are some elements where even though he might feel like he's one step ahead, he does do some things that truly hurt his ability to figure out what he's trying to do with his mission as well as his future, trying to just screw it up because he thinks he's that good. And there is I want to say chaos to it, but bowing of a chest and like some pompousness to his attitude where he thinks he's better than everyone else, even though he thinks he is. I don't know if he actually thinks he is, if that makes sense, because he thinks he's doing good, but he's never like cocky about it. He's more of like, I want to do it, I want to do it. But like I said, his ADHD, I'm going to call it, kind of gets in his way to figure out what he's actually trying to do. The movie is kind of long. It could have been shortened on some scales of what we're trying to do with some of the terrorist organizations, how many people are in this movie, and different, I wouldn't say subplots, but different characters that I don't think really need to be in this movie. Some negatives. The first 3 minutes. Okay, so the first 3 minutes is straight AI. I mean AI training, AI people, AI scenarios. And I was like, oh no, do not tell me the movie is going to be like this for the whole time. And it kept going and it kept going. I was like, oh God, please, 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 please no. But it stopped and it went to real people and it actually had more realistic stunts. I was like, okay, fair enough. I could agree with that. Don't expect like an action flair movie. There's like 1 or 2 action set pieces before you get to the final train sequence, and they are edited okayly. They're not the best when it comes to, especially there's this chicken coop scene with a truck. Yes, seeing a truck fall over and doing real stunts, I really dug that. But cutting back and forth to who's getting shot, who's throwing the chicken cages around, it's like I want a cohesive, like I want to watch the action. I don't want to watch itsy bitsy parts of the action and seeing what the aftermath really is going to be. And like I said, the ending, right? So the ending, you're in a long train sequence and there's battles galore. You know what's going to happen. But it's like I said, it's too freaking perfect. What's happening to the raw agents, what's happening in the country of India with the terrorists versus the raw agents, how things are going to occur. Because when you see the timeline of like, the satellite imagery going crazy and trying to figure out what XYZ is going to include, and you're on that train going from that long ass train, there's no way you're uploading stuff. You're getting the right people involved. You're doing this XYZ and perfectly getting things to occur. And that's why I think it kind of took me out of the movie, because the whole point of the movie is this guy messing up, and there are some, dilemmas to your consequences, or to your decisions. There's going to be consequences to your decisions, and his decisions, kind of like played out pretty well in this movie, especially at the very end as well, like before the train sequence, what happens on a motorcycle. But when it comes to that train sequence, it really kind of, I want to say, rubbed me the wrong way, but I was like, it's fine, I guess. So overall, Jack, I think it's a well-crafted thriller. I think it does the job right of patriotism. I think it does the job right of telling a interesting story about terrorism in the country of India and what it's supposed to be. Negative, I think the last, 20 minutes was a little bit too perfect, and there were some elements in the story as well where I'm like, I don't know if I believe that, but it's very passable. So Jack will receive a 3.5 out of 5 Futons, which equals that 70%. Let's see the critics and user scores gave this one. So it looks like we have no critics and no critic consensus and no audience score. So I'm the first one. 70. Chase Hike here, the Blue Futon. Like, comment, subscribe. One of these Futontopia. You Blue Futonians. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. I'm watching today, tomorrow, week from now, within a year from now. Every single freak one of you. Peace and love, peace and love. And I know these might be sporadic reviews, but I did watch 3 Indian movies in theaters in 2 days. It was a good time.